mean I listen to Rob talk, high frequency God talk, paint pictures with these flows like I'm Bob Ross.
It's a very tumultuous week for the Nets, culminating in a suspension for Kyrie Irving.
Come here, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you real quick. Messi Molly, it's out of control. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. This love TKO, it's not good for you, yo.
Now, flash forward to today, they've got 2 straight wins without Kyrie, including a come-from-behind 27-point performance Saturday against the Hornets by KD.
Wow, 2 wins.
KD just happy to be focused on basketball.
Which is something I wish you and Stephen A. and Kendrick Perkins and all of the little pundits would take note of. Focus on basketball. Y'all could easily focus on basketball if you wanted to, but nobody would watch, would they?
That was a unique experience for sure, but, a lot of guys been through different things in this league before, and a lot of guys been through some adversity in this league off the court, and having to lock back in and focus solely on the game. And I think that we all get, a little bit of solace in doing that and just playing a game of basketball, being that camaraderie, that fellowship with your teammates. I think that was able to get us through. And there's going to be more peaks and valleys throughout the season, but, this is probably going to be the toughest thing we deal with as a group, but, to know that we can get through this and continue to stick together, I think that's important.
All right, Kendrick Perkins joining us now. Perk, good to see you. I will get to you in just a second. So you heard him, fellas, 2-0.
Wow, 2 wins.
Able to focus on basketball in Kyrie's absence. Stephen A., should the Nets want Kyrie back?
I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to disrespect Kyrie like that. We know that he's a superstar talent. We also know he's a headache.
I knew he couldn't resist it.
It's a distraction every single year.
A distraction to who?
But it's never been a distraction of this magnitude. The first year was injuries and speculation that he didn't want to play without KD, and then obviously dissuading people from playing in the bubble. The second year, he disappears for a couple of weeks, and he needs an emotional break because of the riots at the U.S. Capitol before getting caught partying with his family. Last year, it was the vaccine, and, that's different. This is different because this is a tsunami of criticism if it's of a highly sensitive nature. Obviously, you insulted the Jewish community.
Still refusing to do some research, huh, Stephen A.?
And as a result, you created a maelstrom of controversy, and there is no getting around that. And so I think that, unlike ever before, his career is in jeopardy.
Still pushing that same narrative, huh?
Because he's one of those guys that, regardless of how great, how Herculean of a talent he is he worth the headache? Is he worth the trouble? If you are the Brooklyn Nets, where are you going without him? The reality of the situation is, what is it, Watanabe? Is that how you pronounce this kid's name? I like what I'm seeing from him. Mm-hmm. Cam Thomas, I like what I'm seeing from him. And KD is KD, of course. Royce O'Neal, I think, is playing well for them. And that team chemistry, that camaraderie, and all of that other stuff, I think that Kyrie recognizes that he's on his last chance.
Quick PSA for everybody whose name Stephen A. mentioned, y'all be careful out there because he gonna pull an old switcheroo on you real quick. It's all good about you in one breath, but in the same breath, he'll switch on you. He'll switch on you. Just be careful. He gonna switch on you.
I don't think he ever saw it that way before. There were questions as to whether or not he would get his money, but there wasn't a question about his career until now. There are plenty of examples we can use in the world of professional sports where dudes had a lot left, but they weren't considered. They weren't considered worth the risk because of the cancerous impact.
Come here, Stephen A. Who said it? Come here. Who said it, Stephen A.? Who said he was a cancer?
They were perceived to ultimately having on a locker room. I think that's where Kyrie Irving is at this particular moment in time. And I think because of that, if there was ever a time where he would just focus on playing and outside of that would not have much to say, I think this would be it. And
so in other words, shut up and dribble. In other words, place being a human on the shelf and just be a basketball player.
That's why I'm of that mindset, Kendrick Perkins.
Well, say, I have to disagree with you on this one.
Hey, hating ass Kendrick Perkins, man.
And if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I can't bring Kyrie back into that locker room. We just heard Kevin Durant speak on the camaraderie. Guys come together basically in fellowship. The locker room and the basketball is the guys' sanctuary. This is when they come together. This is their livelihood. And we talked about, you just alluded to the magnitude of this situation for us, what it's going to be. See, here's the thing about this situation. It's no in between. It's no straddling the fence. It's either you're all the way on the left or you all the way on the right.
At this point, he's just saying words. It's a word salad.
Now, I'm not here to say whether the left is good or the right is bad, whatever the case may be.
What? What are you? Who hired this guy to talk, bro?
But I am here to say is this. When it comes down to the team and it comes down to those other individuals in that locker room, you cannot afford to put those young guys in harm's way. And when I say in harm's way, Stephen A., majority of the NBA is over 80% African American. Half of those guys get it out the mud. Half of those guys are the guys that are providing for their family. I wake up every single day and I wear this right here, not because I want you to come on here and call me Mr. T. It's because it's a reminder that this is my wife and my 4 kids that come first, and this is why I get out the bed to go do it for them. That's the same with those guys that are sitting on that bench. So at the end of the day, you can't afford for them to have a slip up and say something wrong in the media. You can't afford for them to have a wrong tweet or answer a question that actually could jeopardize their career. I'm not taking anything away from Kyrie Irving. We know he's a spectacular basketball player, but as we have known over the last couple weeks, this situation at hand is bigger than the game of basketball. It's bigger than that. So if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I politely tell Kyrie Irving, hey man, just sit it out, do whatever you got to do whatever you have to do, and let us just rock out the rest of the season. Are the Brooklyn Nets going to win the championship? No. But are they going to be okay in the future? Probably so. But still in all, you cannot put those other guys in that locker room in harm's way.
Who hired this guy to talk, bro? Here's a question. Why don't y'all cover the positive things Kyrie does just like y'all cover the perceived negative things that he does?